Hello, folks. How are you all doing? And welcome to a royal update. And you know what I said to you? Was it in the Thursday's news about the German state visit? That actually, what German state visit? Because it's kind of going to be a bit of a energy to it, because of all the other things that are going on around it. So I thought I was just going to come on and talk about Thomas Markle, the leg, the operation. Um, Meghan reaching out, etc. But as I've sat down, I did a little timeline of events for this week because I wanted to get the story straight in my head. I've realised that there is a lot more that needs to be read on. So I've got some little notes on a little sticky note. So we're going to be having a bit of a chat first and then we're going to get into the cards so we can make sense of all of the story this week because it's not just a simple thing this week at all. We've also got the big full moon, the big super moon. So it's a profound time this week for everyone. A profound karmic time, releasing time, end of cycle time. I think they've said we're not going to get as moon as powerful as this until 2045 or something like that. And it's the end of a 9-year cycle. Anyway, interesting. So we start this week with the German visit. Meghan's Christmas special landed on the 3rd of December on Netflix. It was the same day as the start of the German state visit, and it was the same day as the banquet. Now, that night, state banquet, fine. Catherine wore an absolutely gorgeous blue dress and a tiara that she has never worn before. And I'm not sure the name of the tiara, but it's got red rubies in it or some type of a red stone in it. But as the night went on, it became more and more apparent that, and this is going somewhere, by the way, it became more and more apparent that this tiara had not either been seated properly, was too big for her, or both, as it was too big and not being seated properly. Now, my question is, at such an important event as this, she's not going to be doing that hair herself. She's not going to be putting that tiara on herself. She's never worn that tiara before. It was obviously too big for her. Then why did she go ahead and wear it? Now, bear with me because I am going to be reading on this. And if you're new to my channel, we look at both sides on here. We don't just look at one side, we look at all of the evidence, okay? Or we try to. Um, the rumour out there is that maybe this tiara was used to upstage, but because we live in a very fickle world that people's, especially women's outfits and hair and makeup and tiaras and hats can take centre stage. And as in the days of Diana, where and Jackie Kennedy Onassis and Marilyn Monroe and all of that, a woman's outfit can steal the show. Was this some type of a move from Catherine to take the limelight off Meghan and or Camilla as well? Because we know Camilla's going a bit wild with the old tiaras at the minute. It just seemed odd. Anyway, and I know that that rumour is out there, so we're going to be reading on that. So, on that same day, because then I looked at what happened when this thing with Thomas Markle having his leg amputated, and that was on Wednesday as well. So there's a lot going on Wednesday. So he has his leg amputated. Into Friday, we've then got Catherine's carol concert. Meghan launches her chocolate. I think was it Thursday or Friday? There's a lot going on. But none of it is going to save the world. um, Pippa doesn't turn up to this carol concert. I don't know why. I've not seen why. Beatrice and Eugenie were allegedly invited, but Eugenie did a post on her Instagram to say that her and Beatrice were not going to attend. Now, was this all a setup? Let's invite them, but not invite them. You're going to get an invite, but you're not going to go anyway because there's more to come out about Andrew, but we want to keep face, etc. Then we hear that Hannah Waddingham was meant to sing at this concert, but at the last minute was told to go as a guest only. This is the rumour mill. Go as a guest only, do not sing. Now, the rumour is that this is because her PR people are concerned that there is more to come out in relation to Epstein and or the royal family, and they don't want her, their person, dragging into it. A guest, can just go in the back door, etc. Now, the press have commented compromised voice in inverted commas in the headlines. Um, After the ceremony, the carol concert, we then get a breaking news in the UK that Thomas has had his leg amputated and Meghan has reached out to Thomas. Went on the news this morning and I did the UK thing where the top UK headlines and Meghan, well, this story with Thomas and Meghan is the second down. No mention of the carol concert whatsoever. From what I mean, I looked at that about 7 o'clock this morning, UK time. So that's where we're at right now. Lots of strange things going on. Um, yeah, so bloody hell, where do we even start? So let's have a look. The decks that you will be seeing during this reading are the Radiant Rider-Waite deck, the Angels and Ancestors by Kyle Gray. We possibly will be using this, I'm not sure, Investigations deck by Beatrice James Oracles. Oracle of the Seven Energies by Colette Baron Reid. And we'll be using this one, Forecaster Oracle by Beatrice James Oracles. Okay. Right. Should we just start reading on this royal week? And then we'll branch off into different areas. So we'll start off with the Radiant Rider-Waite deck. So the royal week. Let's see, and then we'll branch off. Okay, so I've got some cards that have flipped out. Four of Wands is at the top, so royal celebrations, royal events. The state visit, what's underneath it? State visit, Queen of Wands there. Let me just... Eight of Swords at the bottom. Let's just get these cards in the order that they came out. Ten of Swords in reverse. The Chariot. And the Four of Wands. That's four cards. Let's just keep pulling. Ten of Wands in reverse. Strength in reverse. Knight of Wands in reverse. And tension, mental tension, worries, anxieties in reverse. So very much like, and did I say that was the bottom of the deck? Eight of Swords Eight of Swords upright, apologies. So this week has been a very restrictive week. We've got the feminine energy at the centre of this, even though like the state visit of the president of Germany. But we're looking at the feminine energy here. We're looking at the feminine energy of Catherine and Meghan and total restrictions here. Now, under this card here, we've got this one, the victory. And this is both women wanting to be victorious this week, and there's no problem with that. Both women wanting to be seen as successful. Fair enough. Of course you do. But there's an energy here of victimhood, restrictions, and not really helping yourself. And it's almost like, and I've thought this in my own brain this morning, both women are attractive, both women bring things to the table. And actually, at a higher level, neither of these women really need to one-upmanship with each other if there is that energy going on. So we're coming and we've got the Queen of Wands. Let's just have a, let me just take, no, yeah. Clarify for the Queen of Wands. Now, Queen of Wands usually is Meghan, okay? Comes up as a lot as Meghan. But take it away from naming of people. The Queen of Wands is a fiery energy. It's a female energy. It's a manifestation energy. Let's just have a clarifier for it. The burdens and the past. So we know that these two women have an incredible past life blueprint together. Incredible. I'm just gonna, my eyes are a bit watery this morning. An incredible past life blueprint. Okay. Um, and it's burdensome. And this week was another example of how that is playing out, still playing out. Still needing to be cleared, still needing to be understood, the past betrayals needing to be released. And this is all about, for all, you see, when people talk about releasing things and the releasing of things, sometimes releasing things can look quite ugly. Like if you're having a physical purge, can look quite ugly. So this is about the releasing of something. The chariot in order to go forward. Four of Wands is the celebration. The Royal Celebration, Carol concert, Meghan stuff this week as well. The releasing of boundaries, needing to release boundaries, strength in reverse. Anxiety. The Queen of Wands, the Chariot, the Knight of Wands, all three together are very fiery cards. So this is including, and I'm just going to leave all the rest of the royal family out. We're focusing on Catherine and Meghan. So there is a need for both, from their perspective, to be seen at all costs. But this is destroying them from the inside out. It's weakening them. And this is something that they're still trying to learn and to process. It's becoming a burden, too much to carry. I'm drawn to this card here. So, Catherine and Meghan this week. Catherine and Meghan this week. Catherine and Meghan this week. Meghan and Catherine. Meghan and Catherine. Earth magic. The storyteller needing to the same old story, needing to move forward, needing to unlock something new, needing to ground in. It's not a ballerina. I thought it was a ballerina. It's not. It's just a ballerina stance. But this reminds me of Diana and her ballet. And it's almost like Diana, I mean, it's first card, 1st of July. It's almost like this is Diana's energy coming into, as though she would love to be able to sit down with both to explain the dangers of what both are doing, lack of self-confidence of both, pushing themselves forward, not just getting on with doing their thing. The importance of turning the page, but also as well at a higher level. This is also an example of turning the page, if that makes sense. I'm going to actually specifically ask the tarot, because without the question I asked the tarot was the royal family energy, and I asked this deck about Harry and Meghan, um, Catherine and Meghan. I'm going to ask the same question to the tarot. Energy between Catherine and Meghan this week, please. The moon, the feminine wounding, Queen of Cups in reverse. So this is deep, deep wounding, not just as Meghan and Catherine, Catherine and Meghan, but as the feminine. And when I was thinking about this reading this morning, I was getting this message from Spirit that this is an example on the world stage of the deep, 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 deep feminine wounding that many women still hold from previous incarnations, generational stuff, history. Queen of Cups at the bottom, lack of self-love. And I mean, Queen of Cups in reverse is a very wounded feminine, very wounded feminine. The Lovers, the Knight of Swords. which is the energy of going for something. We'll pull them then read. Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Wands, Four of Cups, Page of Cups in reverse, and the Ace of Cups upright. Let me take a card from this deck. Yes, right. Catherine and Meghan, Meghan and Catherine this week, the energy between them both. Card that's flipped up. Flight path travel. That's the one that flipped up. Calculated moves and yeah, okay. Calculated moves and strategy. And she's got a tiara on as well. Okay. And the one at the bottom is multi-source perspective, many viewpoints, right? Like I said, a very, very, very complex situation that is not black and white, is not good and bad. It's a very complex situation. So between them both, there is this calculated energy. There's possibly with the tiara coming up there, the calculated move of the tiara. I mean, even the hair's the same, okay? Um, path. Flight path, nothing's going to get in my path, nothing's going to get in my way. I'm going to keep traveling forward, I'm going to keep going forward. But there are many calculated moves this week from both sides. Okay, we're dealing with the wounded feminine. We're dealing with, as a collective, the wounded feminine. And maybe if you're listening, you're in a similar situation with another woman, be it your sister, your mom, best friend, whatever. What wounds do we carry, and how do we act in this way? Why not just be ourselves? I keep being drawn to Princess Anne today. I do like Princess Anne actually. And the fact that she's just in her lane. She shows up. She's a powerful woman. She doesn't try to top. She doesn't try to use her fashion to make a statement. Her statement is in her grit and determination and her work ethic and the fact that she shows up. I know, there's mixed views on royalty, but as a woman, um, do you know what I mean? Let's just hope she's not on the list. I'm like, shh, what are you joking? Um, The lovers, and this is here how I've got this laid out on my desk was like this, the lovers. So lovers, choice and healing. And it's almost like the universe coming saying, come on, you two. Come on, just get it. Get it. Get it. Get it. Get it. And just move forward. Both of you move forward. And it's a shame that Diana's higher self can't come down and speak to these women away from royal palaces and castles and press and intrusion. That the spirit of Diana, the higher self of Diana, can't come in and say what you're both doing is damaging. It's damaging to you for first. Whenever you do anything like this or attack another or whatever, you damage yourself first. There's been a determination to go forward here and to be seen, and their agendas and their shows and choral concerts and tiaras and all of it and chocolate and all of it to be seen. And it's just ended up backfiring on both because Meghan's got centre stage, but she's got centre stage because her dad's had his leg amputated, and that also is having an effect on her in relation to the throat and the head being amputated in a previous life. So you see how things come full circle. I don't think anyone's going to get their head chopped off, but someone's lost a body part in all of this. Um, they've both got dreams and ambitions and hopes and wanting to be seen and initiatives that they're both part of. But because it's coming from insecurity, jealousy, fear, these internal damages, it's not working. Ace of Cups, what does the Ace of Cups want to say in this reading? What does the Ace of Cups want to say to Catherine and Meghan? Meghan and Catherine, what does the Ace of Cups want to say? What do you want to say to them? You're not going to do this by being immature. You're not going, neither of you are going to be able to fulfill your wish, your heart's desire, when your emotions are all over the place. Um, it's a painful thing they're going through. Both of them are going through a painful thing. Those two women coming together, I mean, if you've not followed me, if you're new here, just let me just briefly explain. Meghan was Anne Boleyn. Catherine was Catherine of Aragon, so you can see, boom. But they've also had other past lives where it's been equally as painful. And how it works, very briefly, is your biggest wounds that you need to clear are going to come in the people closest to you. So your parents, your partners, your siblings, your in-laws, the person that you work with every single day of your life, the ones closest to you or the ones that get closest to you are going to be the ones that bring in the big lessons and the big karma clearing that needs to happen. So, okay. I just want to read on individuals now and stay with this deck. Because of the feminine energy of the forecaster oracle. Oops. Oops. Cards flipping up. So, Catherine's energy this week in relation to Meghan's Netflix show and Meghan's chocolate and all of the stuff that's gone on there. Catherine's energy. Catherine. Ooh. Okay, so I was right when I said about calculated moves, the tiara, the hair, everything. Um, Economic pressure, cost of living. I saw this morning as well. There's been a bit of a backlash in relation to how, I mean, the whole state banquet because of the budget, the taxes, the working human on the street, the fact that many, unless you're an absolute hardcore fan of Catherine, many people are feeling a little bit peeved off in relation to this. So if she'd have just, again, if she'd just, I mean, she's worn some beautiful tiaras in the past. And yes, she has a right to wear whatever she wants, but not when it's coming from a calculated place. Um, do you know what I mean? It's backfired. Dry spell, scarcity, female wounding, authoritarian, I can't even say it, authoritarian response, forced compliance. We've said this about Catherine, the powers that were behind the throne, have it still allowing the machine men behind the throne to manipulate her, staged optics, distraction and spin, fire wrath, tension heating up, spotlight flux, entertainment, information surge, data dump. One more card, power flow, energy. So nice, a power line, I think. So, Catherine's energy this week towards Meghan is calculated move, coming from a place of scarcity, coming from a place of lack of self-worth. I've said this in previous videos, a lot of issues with Catherine come from self-worth, which is why she is so incredibly thin, which is why she has to be as public and as polished as possible. Um, it's a staged operation using Catherine, but there's also, in fairness to Catherine here, there's also the powers that were behind the throne. Um, I call them powers that were rather than powers that be because I don't like to give them power, okay? The powers that were, men in grey suits, women in grey suits behind the throne that are using Catherine, but she's also allowing this. She feels very trapped, um, which is where a lot of her health complaints come from. The imbalance in health here. She's not been properly taught how to use her energy as a creator. And it was one of her problems as Catherine of Aragon as well. There's still that resentment and pain from that lifetime. Also, other lifetimes as a woman where she's been suppressed. She still hasn't got the memo yet, almost, of that you can find your voice, but she also is part of a very, very dark system, sinister system that is problematic in so many ways. Um, that doesn't want to see Catherine actually really shining, and stepping into her true power. They want her in the spotlight, but they don't. She wants to be in the spotlight, but she doesn't. A lot of events that they have are orchestrated around that. Right, let's look at Meghan towards Catherine. Oh, there's a card that's flipped up. Card's flipped up. Breakthrough, successful outcome. They can get through this. They can get through it. But yeah, that old feminine wounding runs deep. We know, don't we? Many of you that are on an ascension path know that the rising divine feminine. But before we get there, we've got to address our wounding. So, Meghan's energy towards Catherine, Meghan Sussex towards Catherine, Princess of Wales, Meghan towards Catherine this week, please. Forced hand, control or coercion. Okay. At the bottom, we've got blurred boundaries, merged divides. Okay, blurred boundaries. Interesting. Pull them, then read them. State of emergency, urgent response. I think that's Thomas. And the impact I mean, I did say in my predictions video for Harry and Meghan in 2026 is going to have a year like never before. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on there. And Thomas's health is at the centre of that now. You know, he's an old man. He's in his 80s now. He's just lost a leg. He's incredibly unhealthy. Bless his heart. So there could be something huge coming next year with that. Mark my words, whatever label you want to pop on Meghan, whatever happens to Thomas will have a profound effect on her. Remember, we're going through an ascension. Warning light, ending and closure. So this is Thomas's health here. Ceasefire negotiations, wanting to talk to Dad. Ceasefire. You know what a ceasefire is? When both sides cease fire negotiations in battle. I'm just saying because some people don't. You know what I mean? Differences divide, irreconcilable. Irreconcilable, I think that word is, if it is even a word. Now, this can be Catherine and Meghan. It can also be her and her dad. Let's keep pulling. Let's keep pulling. Unrivaled, unveiled truth. Unveiled truth, tell all. Okay. Downgrade alert, don't panic. Synthetic mind, AI adaptation. Okay. Clarify for that synthetic mind. Okay, right. Calculated moves. Foundation, infrastructure, long-term vision. So, like I've said, there's been calculations on both sides this week, calculated moves. As one's done something, the other one's done something. It's been like bang, 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 bang all week. There is an impact with Thomas Markle and this operation with his leg, and there is a need here for her to try and build some bridges. And it feels as though had that not happened with Thomas, there may have been more energy towards her business and towards this energy back and forth. But that, let me just shuffle. I'm gonna use this to show me the impact of Thomas's operation this week, the removal of his leg. The removal of his leg. Show me that impact. It's actually been quite disturbing to her because of her past life connections. Many of you will know about that when you revisit things in current lifetimes that you've experienced in the past. Under review, targeted strike, deliberate attack. Interesting. Under review, scrutiny. Soul contract review, targeted attack. Let's have a clarifier for that. Her behaviour towards him, the things that she's said, the things that she's done. Ah, okay, thank you for that. Every little girl wants daddy to give her away on her wedding. Okay, if it's a normal, healthy situation, that's come up. So not allowing him to give her away because obviously he can't walk. I mean, obviously he'll get a prosthetic leg, he'll be in a wheelchair, but he'll never be able to walk with his two own legs again. And as I'm saying it, my leg is absolutely tingling. It feels very numb at the minute. Okay. So her actions towards him, the fact that he never got that chance to walk her down the aisle, and she knows that it's because of her, and the decisions she made at the time. Two cards have come out. Economic pressure, cost of living. Business issues, trying to get the business out there. What's that? By the way, I struggle with some fonts. If ever, it's never a card's fault. It's me and fonts. I'm also a little bit colourblind, if you don't know. Very slight colourblindness, and I can struggle with fonts. That's why sometimes I'm like that. Seriously, some tarot. There was a tarot deck I had, if you all remember it, where like literally I couldn't even read the words on it. I don't use it anymore. Eruption threshold, pressure release, okay, and narrative discernment manipulation. So it's a bit of light and shadow here. There's a lot going on here with Meghan. A lot going on. Um, it's also been used. There's a sadness there. There's all that internal stuff going on, but it's also been used as a tit for tat energy. There's tit for tat between both women going on. Um, oh, I didn't notice that she's looking at the papers there. Manipulation. Yeah, she's looking at the papers. It's all really sad, but they've got to work this out of their system. Okay. Meghan this week, Meghan this week, Meghan this week, Meghan to Catherine, Meghan to Catherine, Meghan to Catherine, Meghan to Catherine. Storyteller, like Diana said, they need to rewrite. They need a fresh page. Um, there could even be a book coming. Spirit of gratitude at the bottom. Right, so we've looked at that. We've you know read on that ceasefire negotiations, warning light, ending closure, forced hands. Um, there's also an element of a one need for her feeling she needs to put this out there that she's trying. Because we know that, I mean, God, came across a picture this morning of Thomas Markle Jr. Now, I've got to say this, you might find this as a trigger, but I don't care how much you hate Meghan, how anyone can support Thomas Markle Jr. is beyond me. He was photographed with um, a Filipino lady, and I'm not even sure if it wasn't a young girl holding her hands, and I was like, that doesn't look right. Do you know what I mean? Watch where you put your loyalties, people. I don't care how much you hate someone. I mean, look at your hatred anyway. But yeah, um, I'm wondering also as well if those two, Thomas Jr. and Samantha, do some manipulating here. Very complex family. So, okay, bloody hellfire. Um, let me just look. I want to read on this tiara thing with Catherine and Tiara. Catherine and the tiara. Why did Catherine wear that tiara? And then we'll look at Hannah Waddingham, and then we'll look at Beatrice and Eugenie. Catherine and the Tiara. I think we possibly covered it all. Okay, lots of cards. fly out at me, as usual. Economic pressure, cost of living, structure reform, overall updates flown out, shelterless crisis, displacement, weather anomaly, strange events. Why did Catherine wear that tiara? Four more cards, please. Social control, social media. To be seen on social media. Differences divide, irreconcilable differences at the bottom. Calculate. I just wanted to make sure. I just wanted to make sure. Calculated moves, strategy. Breakthrough, successful outcome. Needing turning away, not looking at the rainbow. They both had that card earlier. Merging alliances, joining forces. See, we couldn't have had Meghan and Catherine working together, could we? Because that'd have been too powerful. But also as well, I think this is her and William. Clarifier for merging alliances. It's just repeating what we've already said. I wanted to be sure. Economic pressure doesn't look good with people and people that are struggling. Structure reform. This all needs updating. These tiaras that they're wearing. How they're portraying themselves on social media. One minute he's saying he wants to be, hands-on monarchy. He wants to be a pared-down monarchy. He wants to be rolling his sleeves up, wearing normal clothes. And the next minute, boom, look at us in our finery. Clarify for that merge and alliance, please. Narrative discernment and manipulation with the press, the blurred vision with Meghan, merge divide. So that's William and Catherine, press wanting to be centre of attention, both sides, the warring side. So yeah, right. What we look at next. This deck is actually quite a good deck for this kind of stuff. Hannah Waddingham. Why wasn't Hannah Waddingham singing at the concert? Why wasn't Hannah Waddingham singing at the concert, Catherine's concert? Final echo, loss and mourning. Aftermath recovery, rebuilding. So there is something there that she's recovering from. Financial abundance, growth and expansion. Ripple effect consequences. Synthetic mind, AI adaptation. Wanting light, ending closure. State of emergency, urgent response. Harvest affected, impacted outcome. Terms agreed, deal made. Let's look at the tarot. Why didn't... I think there's a couple of reasons here. Ripple effect consequences is definitely something to do with the stuff that's coming out with the royals. And the effect on social media. Justice has just flipped out in reverse. Queen of Cups. Temperance at the bottom. Five of Swords in reverse. Hanged Man in reverse. One more card. And Eight of Swords. Not Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords is restrictions, though, isn't it, for female? Eight of Wands. Loss and mourning clarifier, please. Final echo. Narrative discernment and manipulation. Unveiled truth, tell all. Something within her contract. Harvest and affected. I think it is to do with not wanting to be seen with unveiled truth. And the sadness is to do with the fact that she wanted to sing at that. Because as a singer like that, you want to be seen at as many events like that as possible. But there's also those powers behind her that don't want her to get caught up in the ripple effect. Interesting. But there is also something else there with her. Something private, the Queen of Cups, emotions. Her heart's not in it. There's a loss and her heart's not in it. Interesting anyway. It's not important. Beatrice and Eugenie. I'm going to read on the whole, not all the whole thing, but obviously the invite and then them not turning up. So what is all this about? Them being invited and then not turning up. Have I even read on whether I've not read directly on Thomas and Meghan, have I? Just let me put that down. So let me do that now. Let me do that now. So clear that. The energy between Thomas Markle and Meghan Markle. Succession plan, next phase. Troubled relations, miscommunication. Unseen connections, hidden dynamics. Is there three hands there? I mean, you could say that could be her mum, her dad, and her. Or she needs to watch those siblings of hers. Dry spell, scarcity, trust collapse, broken credibility, internal sabotage, the enemy is within, solar pulse, EMF disruption, interesting, multi-source perspective, many viewpoints. I mean, this is a very, 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 very complex thing. The Markle family dynamics is so complex. Merging alliances, joining forces. Both have said and done horrible things. Both of them have said and done painful things. Both have regrets to some extent, but there's also the manipulation of others around this. Something to do with the suns within their chart. The fact that they're also both a mirror to each other, and that's one of the reasons why they don't get on. He has regrets about how he was a father to her. She has regret. They're mirroring each other. The two siblings, what's her name? Samantha. I really can't. Samantha and Thomas. They're in it for the long haul. They're in it for their own succession. I know it's not like the royal family succession plan. And they're very manipulative, and they get a great kick out of this. I'm being shown that it's like many other families out there where siblings can sabotage other siblings. Um, what's the future for them? Because this is just trust collapse, broken credibility between both. In fact, Meghan towards her father right now. 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 Social control, social media. Okay. False information, lies, or deception. Okay. Using it for social advantage, using it for false information, lies, or deception. Um, Thomas Senior towards Meghan right now. Okay, what's this one? Aftermath recovery and rebuilding, needing to recover. Escalating conflict, intensity rising. So rather than this bringing peace, it's brought up a whole host of other things. He's not feeling well at all, struggling to rebuild. There's a lot of other complications with this. He's not been getting the support he needs. Um, and it's almost like he's not got the energy for it. He's not got the energy to deal with it, to deal with Meghan, to deal with the fallout, to deal with himself, to deal with his health, to deal with all of it. Um, outcome for Thomas, the outcome for Thomas Senior, the outcome for Thomas Senior. Authoritarian response, forced compliance, forced hand. What's this about? Forced control or coercion? But there's somebody around him forcing him to do something. Um, and it affects his response going forward. Forced compliance into something. Now, is this a fact that he would like to build a bridge with Meghan? Right, okay. He wants to build a bridge with Meghan, would like to build a bridge with this part of him wants to build a bridge with Meghan. But because his carers, his sustainers don't want that, that's going to put him in a strange position. Put it that way. Okay. Beatrice and Eugenie. What's going on with this? Let's invite them. Let's not turn up. Let's invite them. Let's not turn up. Beatrice and Eugenie and the concert. Kate's concert. Beatrice and Eugenie, Catherine's concerts. Rising tide. Inundation. Rising tide. More to come out in relation to the Epstein case. Much more. Spotlight flux, entertainment. Um, it would have taken the spotlight away from the service, from Catherine. Some reason they don't want to, well, not for some reason, they don't want to be in the spotlight. Plan ahead, preparation, calculated moves and strategy. So it was all a calculated move. It was all a strategy. They were never going to go. Um, breakthrough, successful outcome. That's what was the outcome. They were never meant to go. It was all a strategy to make it look like at least the hand has been given. Diplomatic fallout, tension. Both girls struggling at this time. Dynamics within the family. Digital identity, data sync. The impact that it would have on social media. Information surge, data dump. Um, cosmic frontier, above and beyond. That's an interesting card. Clarifier for the cosmic frontier. Troubled relations, miscommunication, sky agents, drone intelligence. So it's tied up with the Epstein stuff. There is more to come out, possibly involving those two. Um, It's going much deeper than we can even think. Possibly even like legal reasons they've been told not to go. I even see in the future them relinquishing their titles and wanting to step away totally from it, the toxicity of it. There's evidence of their involvement in something and there's something to do with diplomatic relations. Yeah, calculated, plan ahead, rising tide of the stuff that's going to be coming out. They were never going to be there. It was all fake news that Catherine had invited them. It was all part of the manipulation. There is so much manipulation going on right now to cause confusion and to keep face is unreal. Anyway, that's it. Do we need to look why Pippa wasn't there? I didn't even know that Pippa had not turned up. Pippa Middleton, let's just have a Google of her. Pippa Middleton news. Surprisingly appears to skip her sister Kate's Christmas carol. Her parents weren't and her brother, but sister Pippa Middleton is absent. Let's just do 3 cards. Oh God. Developing now in motion? Something developing now? I don't know. Anyway. Why wasn't Pippa at the concert? Kate's concert. Why wasn't Pippa at Catherine's concert? Why wasn't she at the concert? Okay. Smart grid rising, urban evolution, earth fracture, shaky ground, plan ahead, preparation. Am I going to be pulling more cards, do you think? Digital identity, data sync. Let's just keep pulling. Information surge, data dump, cosmic frontier, above and beyond. Diplomatic fallout, tension. Have they had a fallout? An issue within the family. Do you think this could have something to do with this party that Pippa had that caused a noise disturbance and Catherine and William were there? I can't remember how long ago that was. There's something here where it's been advised for Pippa not to attend. I mean, God, who's Pippa married to? Because he's rich, isn't he? Is he going to be on the list as well? Is there something? Just keep pulling. Dry spell, scarcity. One more card. Unseen connections, hidden. There's something hidden here of why she's not there. There's a dynamic here. Wanting to keep quiet, wanting to stay away, planning ahead, preparation, plan something to happen so she wouldn't be there. A record of something, information dump, part of this list. I mean, I don't think Pippa's part of the list. Let's hope not. But diplomatic flight is the same card that Eugenie and Beatrice got. There's more going on here with Pippa not being there. Pippa in the Epstein list. Has Pippa got connections to the... As somebody... There's a card that's flipped out. What card's flipped out? Was there a card flipped out? I'll shuffle. If it's meant to come out, it'll come out. I'll just have a look at the top whilst I'm shuffling. Has Pippa got... Is someone connected to Pippa Matthews? Connected to the unfolding drop. I was about to say scandals. There's a scandal connecting to Pippa or somebody connected to her. Scandals. I was about to say scandal, and the scandals card was the one that was flipped up. rising tide and inundation. So there is something in relation to Pippa, somebody connected to Pippa. Um, anyway, let's pull some cards for the collective, just to end the reading. In relation to all of this that we're seeing on the world stage, 3 cards to end this reading for the collective. Response to this whole shenanigans. God, too many cards fell out there. I'm reading dozens of cards. Medicine Guardian, be open to healing information. So, a healing journey is important at this time. Animal Guardian, trust your instincts. Snake, shed old skin. This is the year of the snake, isn't it? Traveller, move in a new direction. As the old world collapses, the new world is emerging. We are seeing the snake shedding its skin. We're moving forward. Keep doing you. Keep being you. Don't get caught up in the he said, she said, arguing, vitriol, taking sides energy, because there's issues on all sides. There's light and dark within all the people involved in this. There's shadow going on, and there are hidden complexities to all. Thank you for watching. Oh, next group healing, don't forget that. 16th and 17th of December, end of year deep heal, deep cleanse. And information for that is down below in the description box. Yes. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, share, subscribe, hype the video, and I will see you in the next one.